Hi, BookTube. It's Gina. Happy Friday. Hope you are doing well. What are your plans for the weekend? I'm going to read this weekend. I've got a big old pile of things I'm working on, and I'm going to just do Doris at Aldi Books mid-month book bash. I've never really done that before, but it sounds like, from what I can tell, it's just focusing your time to read, because I, in theory, have plenty of time, but for some reason I just am not finding enough time to read. One of the reasons why is because Star Trek is ending on Netflix. It's going away, and so I've been frantically and having a ton of fun watching Voyager so that I can finish up that series before it leaves. So I'm trying to do that, which is actually taking up what would normally be some of my reading time. So that's one of the reasons, but I am going to just focus in on reading this weekend. So I thought I would check in with you, show you what I'm reading, talk to you about what I finished, and then show you a few more books that I bought last weekend. I was actually going to save them and just do like a big book haul at the end of the month, a big September book haul. But I can't wait to show you because I got some really pretty things. So I'm going to show you those today. So the books I've got still going are Star Trek Federation, which I am, can you see that? I'm about a finger's width finished with that. This is my Book Trek 2021 book starring William Shatner and Jean-Luc Picard. I forgot what the actor's name is. Kirk and Picard. We'll just go with that. And Priory of the Orange Tree, which I'm reading with my friend Elle. This is a big old chunker. So I'm planning to take most of the month because we're reading big chunks of it each week and then checking in to discuss it and having a blast with that. So those are ongoing. What I have finished this week is I finished Tyler's Row, which is a Miss Read Fairacre book. This, I think, is number 8 or number 9 in that series, but I will say the series of Fairacre is very loosely related. Miss Read is the school teacher in the village and the narrator. So she's partially in this book, and then there's another story about some people that are moving into these cottages on Tyler Row. So it's a weird little bit of a juxtaposition with Miss Read in the first person, and then sort of another narrator talking about Tyler's Row. But I loved this book. Really, really sweet. A very nice Miss Read book. I just did a cozy book recommendations video, which I'll link for you if you haven't seen that one. But Miss Read, the Thrush Green series, was my top cozy read. So this is definitely was a wonderful, wonderful read. I hadn't read this one before. And I also finished, which I don't have a physical copy because I read this one on a library Kindle. I actually read this one on a Kindle also. Somebody pointed out to me that the Kindle books, Miss Read's got some Kindle books on Amazon right now for $1.99. So if you're interested at all, you might want to check that out. So I did actually read this one on Kindle. I think I had already bought this one. I can't remember. But of course I have a paper copy and I have a Kindle copy. And then I got off track. Sorry about that. The second book that I finished this week was The Cat Who Knew Shakespeare by Lillian Jackson Braun. And I don't have a physical copy of this one because I also read this on my Kindle. These cozy books I love to read in bed. So I generally read them on my Kindle so I can read in the dark, so I don't just disturb my partner who sleeps next to me. And the Cat Who series is a very fun, very improbable series with a protagonist called Jim Quillerin. Everyone just calls him Quill. He starts out in the series as a sort of down and out newspaper man and living in the city. and one of the areas he lives in is called Junktown, and I just love Junktown. But in The Cat Who Knew Shakespeare, he has inherited some money and moved up to a northern, what I think is probably northern Michigan, small town called Pickaxe in Mooseville, and his cats, Coco and Yum Yum, help him to solve mysteries. And in The Cat Who Knew Shakespeare, the way that the cat helps him to solve the mystery is by knocking Shakespeare books off of the shelf in the very fancy library in the mansion that he has inherited. It sounds a little ridiculous. It is actually a little bit ridiculous, but also a ton of fun and a very, very light, cozy read. So that was also a recommend if you like those silly cat mystery stories. On to the book haul. So I went to my favorite used bookstore in the area, and it is one of those bookstores that is just crammed full of used books, piles on the floor, really just crammed in. They've got one section for literature, which is where I tend to find these old vintage hardback books. So these are super duper fun. In my cozy reading vlog or reading recommendations that I did yesterday, I mentioned D.E. Stevenson, and I found two of her beautiful hardbacks. This is Listening Valley. Isn't that pretty? And this one was published in 1944. This, it looks like this is a 1972 copy. 1943 was the original publication date. So I was super excited to have this. I've actually got a paperback copy of this. They're issuing some of these now, so I love that one too, but I'm super excited to have that in the hardback edition. And then I also found this one that I've never heard of before, Gerald and Elizabeth. And I don't know anything about this one. Gerald Brown is a young, good-looking, personable, but he holds himself aloof from the other passengers aboard the Ariadne, a small passenger ship returning to London from Cape Town. So I don't know, this one might be a little bit different from what I am used to. So very excited to check out that one. And then I also, a few days ago, did a modern library collection video, and I found 3 beautiful new modern library editions to add to my collection, which I was very excited about. The first is The Education of Henry Adams by, I think, Henry Adams. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful orange cover? I also own this one on my Kindle because this is one that I want to read that I have not yet read. So this will go into my modern library collection. I also found this beautiful edition of Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray. Look at that. Isn't that a good find? And I love these modern library editions. They've got really wonderful end papers, and they're just so pretty. I haven't even looked through this one yet. And then lastly, this one's also super fun, is Benjamin Franklin's Autobiography. Look at that cover. Isn't that adorable? I just love this one. It's in really good shape. Just a wonderful find. Doesn't even have a clip on the cover, which a lot of the prices are clipped off on these. So it's fun to find these in a whole cover. So I was very excited about this. And then lastly, I told you about this one, but it came in the mail. This is not a vintage book. This is actually a Penguin classic of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And this one I bought for Victober. This is on my Victober TBR, so I'm really excited about this. I also have this on my Kindle. Are you seeing a theme here? But I really just wanted to have this edition. I think that cover is so evocative of what I imagine the story is going to feel like. A little chaotic, a little crazy, a little bit unformed. It just seems like the book is going to be a little gothic and a little bit creepy, and I think that cover just really looks like it's going to capture it well. So I was very excited to get this. I've also got another Victober book that's going to be coming in the mail, so I'll show you that when it arrives, but I was very excited to have this. And then lastly, I had on my cozy video recommendations, I got a lot of really great recommendations for cozy books, so I might do an update to that one and share some of the cozy book recommendations that I'm getting, because I think there, of course, are so many more cozy books out there. But one that I got that I actually just picked up at my library that I'm going to read in bed tonight is called Love Saves the Day by Gwen Cooper. And I'm going to start that one tonight. It looks like a cozy cat story. There's a cat on the cover, and that was a recommendation from a commenter. And I just happened to have finished my Tyler's Row bedtime book, so I'm going to hop in and read that one. So I will let you know next week how that goes. And I think that is it. That is my Friday. That is what I'm going to be doing this weekend. I am going to read and drink a lot of tea and watch a lot of Star Trek and probably do a few chores around the house because I do need to do a little bit of tidying. Fall is here in the Pacific Northwest. It's gray, it's drizzly. I swapped out my summer wardrobe for my winter fall capsule wardrobe. So I'm ready to go with my blazers and my sweaters, which I do love, but I'm still not quite emotionally prepared for fall to be here yet. But it's here and I'm gonna just enjoy it. Hope you're all doing well, and I will see you next time. Bye.